morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are. So what do we have today? 12, 15, 17, 19, 24, 62. Okay, my delicious babies. Lights on. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, my juicy little lads. Thank you, little lads. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they? Now then, my little beautiful. So it's nearly 1 p.m. in our old England, my delicious little babies. Okay, the sun is shining, so it's a beautiful day. Okay, lots of not so very nice. Let's just say they're sort of doing they've been doing a lot of feathers lately, so somebody must be ruffling a few feathers, my delicious little babies. They're also doing not so straight lines, my delicious little babies. They do not appear to be looking very straight at all, actually. It's like they're sort of coming like this, like that, my delicious little babies. That's the best way to explain it, okay? And there's a bit of blue sky, okay? It's a little bit warmer than it has been, my delicious little babies, and that's the weather forecast in our old England. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, that the weather is super duper wonderful and delicious wherever you are in the world, okay? And that life is treating you most deliciously, okay? So I've got actually, I'll tell you what I want to ask, my delicious little babies. Our dear with anybody not in that way. Our dear Dr. Robert O. Young, he got arrested, bless him. I kept meaning to mention it. I hope he's all right. I haven't heard much. I hope he's all right, my delicious little babies, okay, because he's a marvellous doctor, really cares about mankind, bless him. I have mentioned him a number of times on previous videos over my months of me doing my YouTube channel, my delicious little babies, and I hope he's all right. Because you see, he's one of these, like genuine doctors where he gets emotional, because as we know, for like many doctors, my delicious little babies and nurses, they do not seem to have any emotion, my delicious little babies. It's just like they just stick it in. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But not for our dear Dr. Robert O. Young, no. Okay, and he believes in all the natural, things to do now. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, I hope he's all right. I hope we can get some our latest information. Okay. Oh, please, dear Dr. O. Young, I hope that you're going to be all right. Bless you. Oh, bless him. Anyway, it's just terrible what they're doing. Anyway, my delicious little babies. And so what did I see outside today, my delicious little babies, this afternoon? So I thought there's a large white van outside the front of my flat, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so I thought I'd take it upon myself to go and investigate. So I asked it's one of those ones that looks like a hoist. So I said to your man there, the driver, I said, do you mean a hoist, like for the elderly? And he said, no. I said, no. I said, I was only larking with you. You know what I mean? And he started to laugh. I said, I've never seen one of those before. It said France elevator, on the part where it goes up. My delicious little babies, like if they have to, sort of rise towards the, what do they call them? The lamppost, like the lights, my delicious little babies, okay? He said, well, we're not doing that today, so they're okay. But the other part on the van said 132F. Okay, my delicious little babies. I've just never saw that before. And I'm usually one to, pay attention. Do you see what I mean? Okay, because I like to see what's on the front of vans or at the side of vans and things. You see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, just thought I'd mention it. That one's ticked off. Now then, my delicious little babies, okay? So we have 3 pieces of information for you today, my delicious little babies, okay? So the first one, what I'm going to say, you got 2 on BitChute and 1 on our lovely David Icke davidike.com. Okay, so capital D, capital R, words together, first and surname.com. Our lovely davidike.com. Okay, my delicious babies. And of course, you can find our lovely, his dear little sons, okay, Gareth, Jamie, and their dear friend Richard. They're also dear, okay, and you can also find them on BitChute, Arconic, okay, so their numbers have gone up now, my delicious little babies, okay, so they're up to, is it 2113, my delicious little babies, 2113. Could be, or is it 2013? Oh, it's one of those my delicious babies. Nevertheless, I'm super duper and deliciously happy that their numbers are going up, and plus they're on their lovely dear dad, and dear friends, davidart.com. Okay, so to our dear David, high five. To our dear Gareth, high five. To our dear Jamie, high five. To our dear Richard, high five. Okay, my little lovelies, oh, bless them. I just really just admire them. Do you know, there's certain who I just really super duper admire, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so I do have my favourites. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Oh, and you need to listen to it this morning on Iconic, my delicious little babies. Something, where is it now? Stoke-on-Trent. It's not that far from here, my delicious little babies, from Brummyland anyway. And what is it? Something about now they're asking ones to, instead of going forward in the brum brum wheels, to reverse, my delicious little babies. Have you ever heard anything so crackers in your life? Well, anyway, that cracked me up. So it would be brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But, this is real, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? And of course, as I would say, not for everybody, but some mothers do have them, my delicious babies. So some will be listening to and hanging on to every word. And that's what they'll be doing, my delicious babies. So forget about what they've done all their lives, sort of driving on roads and everything. You know what I mean? Where usually you go forward, my delicious babies. No. We're now in 2025, my delicious babies. The kind things are just getting more bonkers, crackers, and crazy, my little honey bunnies. You know what I mean? Anyway, hi flipping crackers, but you will have, some mothers do have them. Do you see what I mean? Okay, it's what's called no common sense. There we are. Very sadly, my delicious babies. Okay, and that's another thing I wanted to say. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, my delicious babies. Okay, and anyway, they had a problem with their leg, my delicious babies, and I says, well, you want to watch that? Because my beautiful, dear little friend who passed away a number of years ago now, she was one of my dear, beautiful little best friends, bless. And she had to have, I have mentioned this before, oh, how I love her so. May she rest in peace. I'm sure that she's probably not feeling that way at the moment, my delicious little babies, looking down at what's going on. But very sadly, but yes, and she had to have a 12-hour operation, my delicious little babies, for blood clots in the leg. So I never exactly said that to who it was I was speaking to, my delicious little babies. I just said, please keep your eye on it. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Anyway, so the fact of the matter is, I managed to do my healing side of it, and they could then bend their leg, my delicious little babies, whereas before they walked through my door, they could not, okay? So therefore, it must have been my magic hands, my delicious little babies, okay? So, yeah, but on a serious note, no. But they'd had 3, my delicious little babies, and then they actually went for their 4th, my delicious little babies. But apparently, who was meant to be, doing this, never turned up. And then he, who that they were, was never called again. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Of course, they did say to me, well, they saw it as a blessing because they have been hearing, I heard it through the grapevine. So they have been hearing a lot of very sadly disablements, and even more fatalities, my delicious little babies, okay? So it appears that this is yet another dear mankind who wishes that they never took anything, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, all I could do was, there we are, just give my advice. Best way I could, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? I kind of hopefully that will help the situation. But sometimes, let's just say, things do not reveal themselves until later on. Sometimes it happens straight away with what we've been seeing in the world, my delicious little babies. And other times it takes a little bit longer. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But who this was is the second one now, I've heard. Supposedly, and they've seen the x-rays, my delicious little babies. There we are. Yes, they have. They've seen the x-rays, and the x-rays have said that they have arthritis, my delicious little babies. So there's one who's in their early 40s, I do believe, mentioning some days ago, my delicious little babies, okay? And you're talking about somebody himself and his dear wife who are, there we are, fitness fanatics, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? At the gym, doing all different things now then, do you know what I mean? To end up with arthritis, my delicious little babies, do you see what I'm saying, okay? You say, okay? Of course, when I mention not linking it at all, my delicious little babies. However, I do believe after I spoke to this other one now then yesterday that after I had a few like little words, they come to realise, there we are, that it could possibly be something else, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? But the other one refused to believe, okay? But that's the level that we're at, my delicious little babies. So sad, so sad. Anyway, let's just proceed. So this first one, my delicious little babies, okay? So lovely, like I just said, davidark.com. Now, what this is, okay, this is how it should read, my delicious little babies, okay? It's not long been uploaded onto our lovely David's channel. Website, sorry, my delicious little babies. They're planning to take everything from you. Yes, I mentioned this the other day. Okay, my delicious little babies. Here's how. Yes, my delicious little babies, and I tell you who it is, bless. And like I said, with anybody not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely Neil McCoy Ward, all spaces, my delicious little babies on old YouTube. Okay, so the video is being uploaded from YouTube onto our lovely davidite.com's website. Okay, my delicious little babies. Yeah, and he's explaining it, okay? Now, the fact of the matter is this, what's happening. So, yeah, I'll just repeat this again. So, the EU, okay? Oh, by the way, my delicious little babies, you know, at one time, if you type in EU, like into, that doesn't mean no, into like WhatsApp or something, yes? At one time, it used to, well, it did with myself, it used to come up with a capital E and a capital U, okay? But these days, no. It appears to be lowercase, my delicious little babies, because you see, I didn't want it as a capital, I wanted it as lowercase. But it didn't matter how many times you type it in. And I'm noticing other things, my delicious little babies, like if you're typing in a comment or something like that, they keep changing the words, my delicious little babies. And then, of course, it's making somebody who's typing it. I'm sorry to have to use this word. I do not mean it against anybody who cannot read or write. But it's making one look like, there we are, that they're damn well illiterate now when they're not. Okay? But of course, this side of messing around with things now. Let me get back to the matter in hand. So, yeah, so what Neil explains, bless him, and he does have finance courses, should anybody want to maybe try his courses, my delicious little babies, okay, and he does have discounts anyway. And with our lovely Iconic and our lovely davidite.com, there are plenty of books available to purchase, and their delicious organic coffee, okay? And with our lovely Alex Cristoforo, yes, He has a lot of merchandise as well, my delicious little babies. That's where I first heard, actually, to do with the EU, that von der Leyen, you know, that blonde bimber, my delicious little babies, okay? Yeah, they want to take one's savings. This is what all of this is about, my delicious little babies. There we are. This is extremely serious. And what dear Neil, bless him, and thank you, dear David, thank you. What dear Neil is talking about is that this is not just like a one-off. It's like they want to do it once a year, like a yearly, my delicious little babies. This is extremely, there we are, serious indeed, my delicious little babies. It really, really is, you know. Okay, so that's the first one, my delicious little babies, okay. Now then, so the second one, okay, my delicious little babies, this uploader happens to have 7,826 subscribers, my delicious little babies. Now, these words are together, and then you got numbers, okay, my delicious little babies. Capital D, darkness, capital T, 2, capital L, light, darkness to light, 1, 1, 1. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So darkness to light, 1, 1, 1, okay? Then space, space bar, BitChute. Then you should have reached your destination, my delicious little babies. The video should read, and this is nearly, is it nearly, yeah, I think it's 31, nearly 31 and a half minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? Lovely, oh bless him. Oh, I haven't seen him in so long. I'm so pleased that he's all right. Dr. Vernon, this is what it should read. Coleman, the end of medicine. Okay, my delicious little baby. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Dr. Vernon Coleman, the end of medicine. Now, dear Dr. Vernon Coleman, he's another one. I mean, he gets really emotional. Do you know what I mean? Because he happens to love mankind. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? And of course, they threw everything at him. Do you see what I mean, okay? But this is, there we are, gone on for years, but especially at the start of the old pandemic, my delicious little babies, okay? Bless him, he got banged off everywhere. The same as our lovely David Hart, you know, himself. He got banged off as well, my delicious little babies, okay? It's like there wasn't wanting anyone to, you know, to use their common sense or to do more research or to look into things. Now, my delicious little babies, oh, no, 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 no. That's not what they wanted, you see. They wanted everybody to follow the same narrative, safe and effective, safe and effective. It's like Peter the Parrot. You see, you just repeat and repeat, and eventually ones would follow the leaders. Do you see what I mean? That's what they wanted, you see. But of course, you know, our dear Dr. Vernon Coleman has plenty to say in this just over half an hour video, my delicious little babies. Oh, lovely to see you back, Dr. Vernon Coleman. Oh, bless him. Do you know what I mean? Okay, because he was extremely concerned about all of this. Do you see what I mean? The same as our lovely David Icke, you know, and his lovely dear little sons, Gareth and Jamie, and their lovely dear little friend, Richard, okay? All very concerned about this. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies. And rightly so. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, finally, this one's on BitChute, my delicious little babies. I haven't mentioned them for a little while, actually. This uploader happens to have 21.1 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. 21.1 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? All in capitals, 2 words together, Pirate Pete. Pirate Pete. And then space bar, BitChute, and then you should have reached your destination. Now, this video is just over 8 minutes long, my delicious little babies, I do believe. The video should read, Edward Snowden wasn't lying. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again. Edward Snowden wasn't lying. Now, there will be ones out there, my delicious little babies, who do know about all of these dear gentlemen who I have mentioned. However, there will be some of our delicious little babies who do not know who these dear gentlemen are. Do you understand what I mean? especially I would say that Edward Snowden. Okay, Martin baby's cat. Anyway, you hear mixed things to do with Edward Snowden, okay? But the point of the matter is he's not wrong. He talks about before 2013 and after 2013, Martin baby's okay? So well worth a listen, okay? And what it talks about is when, they can read all your emails, the governments, putrid governments, they can read all your emails, they can read and what he's talking about is where things were not encrypted and now they're encrypted, and it's a really, really interesting little video to listen to, my delicious little babies. Please and thank you, just a little bit of time out your day or night to please listen to the videos that I have advertised today, please and thank you. And getting back to our lovely Alex Cristoforo. If you want to know anything what's going on with the geopolitical, then our lovely and delicious Alex Cristoforo is the place to go on YouTube, my delicious babies, and he's also on BitChute, and they're also with Alex and Alexander, the Duran, okay, my delicious babies, and of course on YouTube and on BitChute, okay. Now then, I've got something else to say now then. If you look at a lot of houses in an old barn in the USA, you'll find they're wooden, weren't you, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? Sort of reminds you, like the what was that? I'm just trying to give you an example. Like if you look at the Fockers, it's called the Fockers, isn't it? It's a film. My delicious little babies, okay? And it looks all that pretty and everything, just like Americanos. Blue jeans and tweed chinos, tweenos. Okay, my delicious babies anyway. And then, of course, because in America, they have a lot of tornadoes, my delicious babies, okay? So does anybody ever remember that it was in a storybook? Okay, because I used to read it to my beautiful little baby daughters when they were little. The Three Little Pigs. Then they want to come and blow your house down. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Yeah. So, of course, a lot of their houses, whereas over in our old England, my delicious little babies, a lot of our houses, I haven't come across many wooden houses, my delicious little babies, okay, unless you're talking about shed, of course. Okay, my delicious little babies, usually made of brick. Okay, my delicious little babies, but of course, over in America, I'm not talking about the Americans, my delicious little babies, but for others, just seems that they spent a long time, for decades, playing flipping cowboys and Indians, isn't it? There we are, my delicious little babies, if ones are following me. Now then, and of course, nothing against the Indians either, my delicious little babies, okay? The point is, in everything what I'm saying, okay, let's talk very quickly about these tariffs. Now I'm going to close my book. And we must, everything's ticked off. We must continue to go backwards to where we need to, my delicious little babies. Oh, before I mention the tariffs, on my WhatsApp, my delicious little babies. Now, I've been mentioning WhatsApp on and off for flipping months and months and months and months, okay? And I'm sure that for many, I'm not talking about my beautiful little babies who are so very kind enough to view and listen to my videos regularly, and for any likes and for any occasional comments. Thank you. How I love you also. But some are just say, oh, she's just bonkers, crackers and crazy. No, I'm not. Now, recently, my delicious little babies, that doesn't mean yes. Recently, I've had this bloody circle thing come up on my WhatsApp, my delicious little babies car. What's this meta chat? What's this flipping meta chat, my delicious little babies? Okay, and what they're herping is that you click onto it. Do you know what I mean? I don't trust any of it, my delicious little babies, not at all. Now, at one time, you used to be able to have a WhatsApp, and you never had all this flipping updating and not now and bloody all this crap. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, like I said, there we are. I just do not trust it. One bit, my delicious little babies. And sorry, just before I mention tariffs again, I seen on a BitChute yesterday evening, my delicious little babies. What is it? They've actually got it up there now. Is it Rumble? And who was the man there talking to now? Oh, to do with Substack. My delicious little babies, okay? I don't know what's happened there. Have they sort of partnershiped or something like that now? Okay, right. Can anybody see? There we are. What is going on here? There we are. Because I can. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay. There we are. I can see big time what's going on. Oh, and just to let you know as well, I heard on what was it now? This doctor. It was only a minute and something long. On BitChute, my delicious little babies already now. Now let's just cast our noddles back. Do you know what I mean? To the start of these. Okay, my delicious little babies. So why they're still now in 2025, my delicious little babies, 9 million. Yes, you've got the number right, my delicious little babies. 9 million little babies have had the injection, my delicious little babies. Okay, my delicious little babies. So why is this happening then? I'm just asking the question, my delicious little babies. Why is this happening? And as regards to the mummies and daddies now then, okay, especially with everything what's gone on in these past 5 years now, right? They really need, let's just say, banging to rights, my delicious little babies, okay? Because we all know, there we are, what this is going to spell, don't we? Very sadly, my delicious little babies, okay? Because not all of those beautiful little babies, bless their dear little souls, who, of course, cannot talk for themselves, cannot speak for themselves, nobody knows what's going to happen. So some of them would have had what I call a dummy version, but very, very sadly, for other little babies, very sadly not. And I just thought I'd mention that, my delicious little babies. Even Tucker Carlson, even he was like, they're still injecting. There we are, even now. You see? So what is the reason, my delicious little babies? Is all I'm asking. And of course, over in our old England, my delicious little babies, oh yeah, what they're talking about, the shingles, my delicious little babies, okay? So can everybody, there we are, follow, please and thank you, my delicious little babies, there we are, what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay? It's like they're determined to keep this shart. There we are. And that's what it is. It's shart, my delicious little babies, okay? Keep it here for as long as possible. Okay, my delicious little babies. And for everybody, please, I beg you with the Lord of mercy, please say no. Do you see what I mean, okay? Because this is what they're doing now then. And that putrid, what's his bloody name as well? He's no king to myself. That King Charles, back in a so-called hospital. Yeah. Piece of effing sharp, man. That's what I've got to say about him. And anybody else who's pushing it. Presenters with a poxy box in the corner of the room in our old England, my delicious little babies. You know what? Wish them all well now. There we are. Wish them all well. That's what I'm done saying, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay? Anyway, amazing what some will do for ka-ching, 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 isn't it, my delicious little babies? Amazing, isn't it? Just so that they've got the birth race plastered on the colossal, ugly-looking boxes, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean, okay? Half of them can't even cook a sausage. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Don't know how to cook, don't know how to do anything else now then, but they know how to come onto the box in the corner of the room as barefaced effing liars that they all are. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm done saying now then? Yes. Anyway, finally, the tariffs. Yeah, so I've been listening to this, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, come on. How could anybody be surprised now then, my delicious little babies, okay? And something that I just want to run by yourselves. So, what was it? Some of them have, 700 tariff? Well, you just, get it down to 7, don't you, my delicious little babies? Sometimes you just got to, let's just say, narrow things down. There we are, narrow things down, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, I can. But there's certain who do not, I do not mean this in literal terms, it's figure of speech, my delicious little babies, but there's certain who do not get hammered as much as others. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? And let's talk about China, okay? So I'm not talking about Chinese martialist babies. I'm talking about the epoxy governments now, okay? Well, all that they know how to do, there we are, is copy everybody else martialist babies. Do you see what I mean, okay? I'm not shy with what I'm done saying. There we are, because it's all, there we are, the damn truth now then, isn't it? Okay? And of course, what happened? Our country, other countries, sent it all over to China. But of course, China does as what they're told, isn't it now? Which is what they want to bring all around the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm very, there we are, vocal about it, and I will not shut up about it. Just like the flipping, what did they call it? The damn China flipping wall now. That's a crock of effing shart as well, martelish babies. They never built that damn wall at all. Barefaced bloody liars, man. Do you see what I mean, martelish babies? I've done plenty videos over my months. I was lucky if I got 1 or 2 views, but we're back to that again, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay, they're doing everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything's on figure of speech, full throttle. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean, okay? But as long as I've got my angel top on and I can keep shining my light, shining my light, shining my lights, there's always going to be somebody who's seeing and hearing. So one way or another, my message, there we are, will get out. My delicious babies, do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay, so it doesn't matter what they're doing now then. But, the lies has just rolled off these tongues now then, do you know what I mean? Liar, liar, liar. There we are, bombs on fire. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? So, ones need to work, politely speaking, the effing hell up now then. Okay, and I'm not being nasty when I'm saying it. You see, I'd never, ever, ever in a million years ever want to go to China. It's not my kind of place now then. Do you know what I mean, okay? And even, I've known some Chinese have been very pleasant. A lot of the time, they just keep themselves to themselves. They don't even smile at you or anything. My delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Okay? That's just the way they stay now then, it seems, isn't it? Okay? But the fact of the matter is now, they've copied things. Okay? But like I said, they cannot even put up a flipping wall properly. You only have to look on the China show on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? They put it up, it falls back down again, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? Mind you, I suppose they're very good at, digging the oil out, dirty oil, out of the drains, my delicious little babies, okay? They're making street food, my delicious babies. I'm just going to put you on pause just for a moment, my delicious little babies. I'm sorry about that, my beautiful little babies. My dear and lovely little friend, dear little Kaz has just arrived, okay? So I'm going to finish my video, okay? So yes, just getting back to what I'm saying now. So yeah, you only have to look at the China show on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? And see how they do things now. Do you know what I mean? Because not all of them, my delicious little babies, clean their oil. And then what they then do is cook in that dirty, stinking, filthy oil now then. Do you know what I mean? That's how they play. My delicious little babies, okay? So at the end of the day, no, it's not the kind of place I'd like to go to. Not at all. But look at how many have fallen for the flipping China wall, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Could talk a lot about as well as Silk Road, couldn't we, my delicious little babies? I'm very vocal about it. And I'll continue, there we are, to mention it, how one's been lied to. But of course, because old China, because they have all the cameras everywhere, because they've got everything everywhere, my delicious little babies, okay? Under 24/7 surveillance, okay? Cannot do anything. Your old birth trace goes up on a flipping billboard. If you've done something wrong now, then that's what they're wanting here in England, my delicious babies, and all around the world, okay? So when we go back to these tariffs now and everything like this now then, okay, basically there is only one, there we are, who benefits from all of this, my delicious little babies, okay? And just to let everybody know as well, look at these poor sweatshops, in different countries now. Indonesia, Sri Lanka, everywhere. Then you got Indian, who are making a lot of the clothes as well, babies, okay? And other places now, I suppose Thailand and different places, okay? And yeah, so how much are they getting paid? A complete pittance. Pennies, my delicious little babies, of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And then, of course, in the Western world, they bang on the flipping prices, don't they, my delicious little babies? Do you know what I mean? Not sparing a thought. We've all been guilty of it at some time, my delicious little babies, and I'll be honest here, so have I. You know what I mean? At the laugh that the ones making these goods, how much they get paid and what they've had to go through. Do you see what I mean, okay? So, as regards to the tariffs now, and what was it, Trouble Trump? What was it that he said? That he was going to reduce, was it taxes? No. Not doing no such thing, Martin, little babies. It's just a crock, there we are, crock of effing shat, okay? And I'm just going to continue going on about it so I don't give a figgler's F. Okay, Martin, little babies, okay? You just see through things what it is now. Do you know what I mean? But when the EU, when they want everybody's savings, what is it going to take, there we are, to wake everybody up now then? What's it going to take, my little babies? Because right now, I'm not too sure. However, I do believe, there we are going to get through this, there we are, and we are going to win. I'm not one who says, oh, who wins and who loses. No. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, right, they're trying to push everything out now then, get the old feelers out. Do you know what I mean, my little babies, okay? But they're not going to win this. No, they're not, okay? Because when one's really, there we are, see, and I'm not inciting anything, you only have to go back to Klaus Schwab now, that PRRCK, with what he said. And what did he say? We're going to have a very angry world. But why would the world be angry? Because it's not mankind who gel together now, who talk together in communities, in country. No, it's certain who have caused this, there we are, anger. My little babies. So what are they thinking now? So this is how I reckon they're playing it, and this is how I'm going to leave my video. How I reckon they're playing it is, they were trying their best to try and get the old digital through. Okay, my little babies. So if that doesn't work, just take one savings. That's my thoughts. There we are, my little babies. Okay, so this is how they're playing it now. So they stand on a little effing stage, right, and they talk like effing twats now then, right, and they expect everybody to say, oh, yes, well, that's my hard-earned savings that I've spent years saving for, okay, for a rainy day, whatever it may be, okay, just for you now to come along and just dip your hand in. I'll tell you what, they can F off nicely, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean, because whoever I know, they're certainly not going to be going for that. What's that song? Is it I Can't Go For That? No. What's the year of that song, my delicious little babies? Okay. So wherever you are in the world, and by the way, I wasn't shouting at you, my beautiful little babies. It's all unfolding. It's all revealing itself. But unless others now, I'm not talking about everybody, unless others wake the hell up to what is going on, okay, we're going to find ourselves in a very serious, there we are, situation, okay, and they're trying their best at super duper speed to bring this about, okay, but I do not believe they're going to win. No, I do not, okay. So there we are. What's that song? ABBA song. The winner takes it all and the loser, there we are, has to fall. So it's not going as well for them, is it, my delicious little babies? So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. Please take care of yourselves now, and please try to take care of others now, okay? Because, we've got a mixture of energies going on at the moment. And what do? Good vibrations. So much love. Thank you so very much for even listening to my videos, for everything. Bless your beautiful, dear little hearts, and how I love you so. Take care now. Thank you. Goodbye.